News You Need is a look at current events and how they affect the college community and beyond. And now here's the host of News You Need, Dr. Ed Simpson.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another exciting edition of News You Need. This is the show where we talk to the best human beings in the whole world, which is our USM students, and we talk about what's in the news. And the reason we do that is because there's a whole bunch of stuff going on in the world, and it's really not just recently, Dr. Hale. It has been for the last 240 years, and we've relied on the press to bring us the issues that are confronting our communities and our societies, and we need our citizens to make decisions. And the best way to do that is consume the news, read the news, talk about the news, and figure out which way you want your society to go. So we're going to ask folks to introduce themselves. If you would, maybe give us your name, maybe your major, maybe your hometown. If you're with a student group, I want to hear about that. And Dr. Hale, our co-host, is here with us as always. Why don't you say hello?
Hello.
Introduce yourself.
I will introduce myself, and also I'll just mention that we just learned that history started 240 years ago.
Exactly,
so that's good
right.
To know. So yes, there's been news long before then, but it continues through today.
Correct.
So I am a faculty member here. I teach things related to social media, public speaking, this sorts of thing. And I do occasionally read the news. I also was not dragged in this week. I did it voluntarily. This was a new change of pace.
Okay, turning a leaf.
Hi, I'm Autumn Ariano. I'm a history major. I'm from Braxton, Mississippi.
Okay, history.
Mm-hmm.
What year are you in? What year? What are you,
Oh,
junior,
sorry,
senior?
sophomore.
Sophomore, okay. History, why history?
It's just always been like my favorite subject, even in elementary school. It just feels easy for me, I guess.
Yeah.
I just like being able to thread something of like a timeline of events.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I love that too. I consider myself a historian in journalism, actually. And of course, we're seeing history unfold before our eyes in the last year or two. So you're up.
All right. My name is Andy Borelli. I'm an MMJ with Southern Miss Student Media. My major is digital journalism, and I'm from Magee, Mississippi.
Yep. And MMJ is a multimedia journalist. So that is the idea that you do all kinds of things, not just write.
Right.
Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah, right.
Hello, my name is Noah Graham. I am a junior sociology major from South Haven, Mississippi, and I am the president of the sociology club here at USM.
Oh, excellent. So what is, so tell us a little bit about Sociology Club. What are you guys? What do you kind of look at? Why do you exist? That kind of thing.
Well, let's see. It's a pretty small club. A lot of the students in it are online students because sociology has a lot of online students. And our former president, she was an online student. She started as a in-person student, but she had to go back to where she's from and continued to run the club online. And then here I come. We have a whole new exec board, all in person, and we're trying to branch out and do more stuff. Like right now, we have a food drive going for the Eagle's Nest Food Pantry.
Oh, excellent.
And what we try to do is we've had like sociology professors talk about their areas of expertise and kind of what led them there. And we try to talk about like current things happening that are important to society. Sometimes we'll talk about like mental health awareness, stuff like that.
So what is sociology for those of us who may not be familiar with it? What is that?
So it's basically the study of society.
Yep.
It's kind of like a sister to like psychology, where psychology focuses more on like the individual and like the brain processes and stuff like that. And then sociology focuses a lot more on just the structure of society, the relationship between personal agency versus the structure of society. And I think sociology is literally in everything because we do in fact live in a society.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I've long argued that, right? I mean, and there's a whole basket of areas that kind of all look at the same thing from very different angles, right? So I would argue communication studies does that. I would argue history does that. Political science does that. Sociology does that. A whole bunch of others, I suspect, right? So great panel today, right? We got a historian, a sociologist, a journalist, and a professor.
And me.
And
Yeah.
you. So that's awesome. You can't get any better than that. So, what are our students talking about? What's news? What are folks chatting about out there at the USM campus?
I mean, I've just been reading the news. It's not something I've heard about, but I saw that there was a judge here in Mississippi that was found to have been using AI and like writing up a report, and it was entirely false. It was citing things that did not happen, cases that did not exist, people that were not involved with it.
Yeah.
And it took a long time for that to even be like admitted by the person who did it. I think at first they just said it was like a clerical error. They didn't really clarify at all what exactly happened until they were just forced to admit.
So where did you see that story?
It was on my phone, the news app. I can't exactly remember.
Mississippi Today, maybe?
I believe it may have been.
That's the first place I saw it. Did you guys catch this story?
I have not.
So it's really fascinating. So the judge in Mississippi who delayed House Bill 1193, which was the anti-DEI bill, the way he did that at first was an AI, and it was his office. He claims it was a clerk that did it. Did it in a draft order that was entered on the court docket, and it turned out that draft order was riddled with mistakes. And then everybody kind of assumed it was written by AI. He refused to acknowledge what happened, because he took it off the docket. They put a new order on that was correct, and but now everyone's been asking for about 6 months. Hey, what happened? And Chuck Grassley, U.S. Senator Chuck Grassley, is the one that sent him a letter and said, we need to know what you did. So this week he finally came out and said, yep, a clerk used AI. Yep, and it was terrible. So students, what do we think about our judges using AI?
Ain't good. I mean, it's not, because whenever you think about it, like, the judge is up there to be the deciding factor in a case.
Yeah.
If he's using, artificial intelligence to decide his case for him, one, that's laziness on his part, but it's also you're removing kind of I don't really know, like, the human factor of it. That's why a human serves as a judge, to understand the feelings in the case and also better understand them, because you can't just, and like you said, the AI one, the AI thing he used come up with cases and dockets that didn't exist.
Just hallucinated, as it so often does. But aren't we being a little hypocritical here? Do you use AI?
I usually do not. Although I think it's kind of interesting. One of my sociology professors, she's been trying to find ways to use AI in the classroom, like as an actual tool. So she'll give us like assigned readings, normal, but then she'll tell us to like put it into ChatGPT and ask it to make a summary, and then compare it to our own summary and see like if there's any differences there. And then also like there's like a prompt. It's like, pretend you're a kind professor quizzing me on whatever the topic is. Give me questions and quiz me. And it's basically like a study guide, which is pretty cool.
Interesting.
Oh, goodness, I was about to say something and I coughed. So, yeah, I think that's a good exercise that a lot of faculty are thinking about incorporating in certain ways, and it's intended to try to practice with, like, how to use AI, how not to use it, where it falls flat, where it works well. Perhaps this judge should have thought about that himself.
Yeah. Okay, so we are going to take a break, and I think we should pick up with some more AI on the other side. I particularly want to hear from our students how you feel about using it and how you feel about your professors using it. We'll be back.
At 8 Commercial Warehouse Drive in Hattiesburg, American Graphics provides custom screen printing and embroidery. They can be reached by phone at 601-602-2277. And the website is goamericangraphics.com. American Graphics, printing at its finest.
In Southeast Mississippi, we stand united for the most vulnerable in our community. Become a game changer and volunteer by calling United Way of Southeast Mississippi at 601-545-7141. We have one life. To live better, we must live united.
Personal projects that I put on.
But not school projects. Okay, we are back, and as usual, we were talking, and I wasn't paying attention. That happens a lot, Dr. Hale, that I don't pay attention to things. Okay, so here's the thing. So here at USM, and Dr. Hale, I'm going to bring you back. So here at USM, professors, all professors, each one of your professors, have 3 options, and they are what?
Yeah, so you have the first option, which is that AI is just not permitted whatsoever in the classroom. And that is an option that certainly some faculty have taken. On the other side of that, you have a total permissiveness option, which is you're free to use AI because we're going to take a more kind of embrace it sort of philosophy to see how we can leverage that. And then you have a middle point, which basically says you can use AI assuming that the way that you're using it supports the goals of the class is the way it's kind of phrased. And so the idea there is you can use it if it's not replacing you as the student. It's meant to be as a tool to help you work through whatever the problem is, which is the policy that I have been using in my courses because I'm not afraid of AI, but I also recognize that it has a lot of problems.
Yeah. So now you were saying you try not to use it, but you say try. Are there cases where you do use it?
Well, like you, one of my professors had us do a project where we had to use ChatGPT to generate a timeline. We've had to do this twice now. One was for the American Revolution, and then for the Civil War. And we had to make projects critiquing those timelines and just kind of trying to understand the pitfalls of AI and like just where it falls short whenever we ask it questions.
So how did it do on those timelines?
Overall, it wasn't like giving you things that are wrong. Like the information was factually correct, but it's not really going in depth. It's not really connecting the events.
Yeah, it's
So
missing that analysis.
It's just very surface level.
Yeah. So you said you use it, but only for personal projects, not school projects.
Right. On my Twitter page,
Oh, I see. Okay.
I do a lot of sports stuff, Southern Miss sports. So I may do something like, what Southern Miss football season is the greatest Southern Miss football season? And I'll make up a bracket with like 16 seasons, go to ChatGPT, say, hey, I'm going to put in like key players, the coaches of the game, what the key wins were for that season. And I say, if 2011 Southern Miss played 1988 Southern Miss, who's winning? And I want it to give me a full rundown of the game. And I've noticed like it'll give me like, okay, 1988 Southern Miss may win 27-24. But then I'll go through and look and say, hey, Nick Mullins didn't play for Southern Miss in 1988. He didn't throw for 300 yards in that game, man. And it's little things like that.
Okay. Wow, that's interesting. You got any thoughts on using just AI?
I think it is part of a larger problem. I'm currently in the works of a research project for one of my classes, Sociology of Consumption. Shout out Dr. Julie Reed, she's awesome. And the project that I chose to do was to talk about convenience culture and how it impacts community specifically. But I think AI falls into that where we constantly do things in order to save effort and save time to make things easier. But as a result of that, things decrease in quality. So one article talked about like home cooking. That takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of preparation. But then like you're doing it with other people. You're having a good time while you're cooking. You're then eating with your family. And then the shift to like microwave meals where you're just like putting in the microwave, going in your living room, watching TV, stuff like that. And then social media, it allows you to connect with all sorts of people. It makes connection really accessible and really easy. But then the quality of those connections with people is a lot weaker than in person. And
so I wanted to mention something related to the quality argument. I think it's the reason why it's really important that we're spending some time dealing with AI in classrooms right now is because while it has historically had some issues, it gets progressively better. It gets stronger at what it does. And so there's a project that I'm working on right now with another one of our faculty, which is related to AI music. So AI-generated music, if you want to call it music, AI noise. And so like you have that and then human-produced music and using those as kind of a point of comparison to see how people react to that. And we actually did an exercise this Monday. He came to the large class that we have, the intro class, and played the clips. So we had the AI clip and the human clip, and the students could not tell which one was human.
Will's
could
done
not tell.
that for me, and I can't tell.
And I think that that's why it's really important that we are giving it attention, because it's something that's becoming progressively more sophisticated and something we have to pay attention to for all the benefits or costs, as you were mentioning earlier about some of the issues that come along with using that.
Yeah, I'm going to start sighing again. I think that so. Yeah, I mean, so the information is becoming very, very clear. I think it's this is AI is connected to the long stream of technology, beginning with the cotton gin all the way up to artificial intelligence. As human beings, the more technology we develop and deploy in society at large, the fatter and stupider we get. And at some point, doesn't society have to say, nope, we don't want to be slugs plugged into a wire. We want to actually live our lives. At some point, doesn't society have to grasp this?
No. Because people want to be slugs plugged into their wires. Like, I'm telling you this is actually the truth. This is what people want. They want to be slugs plugged into the wire. That is the pinnacle of human beings' existence. That's what we want.
Is it?
It's depressing, and I think that we should push back against that. But we know that that's what people want. That's
so
the
sad. That
reason
makes
why.
me so sad.
That's the reason why we've lost. So social media, that's my area, right? Social media.
Yeah,
The reason why social media no longer exists, now it's just algorithmically demonstrated feeds, is because it's feeding you the things that you want. It's the wire that you get. And we love that. We love that. I don't care what my mom's doing. I want to see what somebody else did when they were dancing, right? So, like, that's just the reality of it.
What do you think? You're a sociologist. What do you think?
I think you're right, and I think so. Like, I'm doing another research project. I'm doing 3 of them.
Good Lord.
Having a real hard time, but
We
the
need to
horrors
ramp it up over
persist,
here.
and so do I. What was I going to say? I had to watch a documentary. I'd already seen it, but I had to watch it again for my consumption class. It's called The Social Dilemma on Netflix, and I mean, it just talks about how social media platforms are designed to keep you engaged, showing you exactly what you want, and how it leads to mental health problems.
Yep.
And I think what you're saying with people wanting to be plugged in, getting fat and stupid, it's because we've grown up with technology as Gen Z and now Gen Alpha, so we're basically being conditioned to want that more and more and more.
Yeah, so stop it. Just stop it.
The thing about that is like the idea of that changing and like people having that taken away from them and having to live any other way is so uncomfortable for a lot of people. Like, we've been conditioned to have that technology all around us in every facet of our lives, and we don't really know any other way of living.
Well, not only that, but the most recent revolution, which was Nepal or Bangladesh? Nepal. There was Nepal, led by young people, your age, slightly older than you, because the government took away their access to social media. Did you guys catch this? Hundreds of thousands of young people took to the street. Now, it's not quite that simple, but that was the spark, is they took away the social media. So here's the thing. Now, you're a parent, and you guys are going to be parents at some point someday. Do we allow our children to be plugged in to this slug-making nonsense?
You mean as far as AI or social media?
All of it.
All of it. I feel like by the time I have children, I feel like AI is going to be more prominent even throughout elementary and middle school, and there's probably not much I can handle about it. But as far as social media, I can't make the call for how other people should protect their children or anything. But in like my own mind, you shouldn't shelter them too much. But there's some things they just necessarily don't need to know or handle until they get to a certain level of maturity. You know what I mean?
Yeah. When did you get your first cell phone? Smartphone?
I think probably 4th grade.
Oh my gosh, 4th grade.
I think I was 12, so that would have been like 6th grade.
Oh
yeah,
my
6th
God.
grade.
Freshman year of high school.
Oh, there you go. Are you a little bit older than the rest of us?
I'm 21.
Oh, there you go. I would argue freshman high school's the youngest you would absolutely want to go.
That seems reasonable to me. Yeah, because At that point, you have a level of maturity that's a little more capable of handling what's going on with the tech. At a younger age, I mean, what you're really asking, if you're saying like, don't be connected, don't be so addicted to your phone, like, you know, you've got your phone on the table, right? So like yours is too. So like you got to have it near you. You got to know. You're asking someone to fight against their own brain chemistry, which is
I don't do it. I had to do it. But
Go
anyway,
for it.
We're gonna take a break. And we're gonna pick up with brain chemistry really quickly, and then we're gonna get some other headlines on the other side.
Estos son los sonidos de una cena que casi no sucedió. Es una cena servida gracias a personas como tú. Debido a la crisis actual, 50 millones de personas pueden vivir con hambre este año. Feeding America está ayudando a los que más lo necesitan. Y si quieres, tú puedes ayudar también. Visita feedingamerica.org/en-español. Patrocinado por el Ad Council y Feeding America, la fuerza de 200 bancos de alimentos.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Okay, we are back, and as usual, I messed up our rundown. But hey, this is a professionally run show. As we've concluded,
It is.
several times, a professionally run show. Brain chemistry. Here's my argument. Nobody buys it. No one's ever going to do it. But just like we say, hey, do not eat that entire bowl of Doritos. Get that phone away from your hands. Get out in the woods. Touch grass, as they say. You guys have seen that now on your social media. Touch grass. Get away from it. Get that pollution out of your minds for at least a little while. So here you go. Speaking of crazy things to get away from, let's go through some other headlines. Now, are USM students talking about anything else?
Not really that I've heard of.
Because there's a whole bunch of stuff going on in the world, right? So I will tell you that I got a little weepy this week because I'm old and sentimental when I saw pictures of the White House being dismantled.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys catch that come across your feeds? Is that connecting with our students? What do we think about that?
I think it's a little ridiculous. Like, we're literally seeing millions of people are about to go hungry because they're losing their SNAP benefits. And
I'm
here he
signing again.
is renovating an entire wing of the White House.
Yeah, so what we're talking about is President Trump, pretty much arbitrarily on his own, has ordered the demolition of the East Wing of the White House, which was built in 1902, to make way for a 90,000 square foot ballroom. Now, there's a lot of folks that are pretty upset about this, and I will say, in all honesty, I'm kind of one. I'm not buying the ballroom thing. So have you guys seen this? Are students talking about it? Do we care?
I haven't heard a lot of people talking about it. I've seen it in the news,
Yeah.
of course, scrolling through. On my Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, I have just about every political thing blocked because I'm just on there for sports and music most of the time. But it still slips through, and I see it every now and then. But I'm a very big history person, and it does hurt me a little bit. I don't really know. I haven't seen drawings or anything of a ballroom, but if it happens, I guess. I mean, to me, it doesn't seem much different than what's been done in the past. You know, Gerald Ford dug up part of the South Lawn to build a swimming pool. You know, Teddy Roosevelt had to have a lot of stuff dug up whenever he built the East Room. You know, I mean, stuff's just been done, and I don't really understand it all the time, but I guess it's just part of history.
Folks have made that point. Truman did a major renovation at the White House. The argument there is, and the Gerald Ford, nobody's really brought up the swimming pool much, mainly because he didn't have to dismantle anything to put a pool in. Truman had to do a major renovation on the White House, mainly because Mamie's bed or something fell through the floor, and that kind of thing. So this not hitting you guys, this hadn't come up?
I've seen a little bit about it on TikTok and stuff, but I haven't heard much from the students about it.
Okay.
Average person doesn't care.
Really? I don't know. I care a little bit. Okay, so let me throw a couple of headlines at you here real quick. This New York Times, Trump fires black officials from an overwhelmingly white administration. So, included in this story is the fact that of the top 100 administrators Trump has nominated, 2 of them are African American. Do we care?
I mean, yeah, I think that is important. He, at the beginning of his administration, is trying to take away DEI programs that are designed to make sure that people of color are able to get into like predominantly white institutions. And I feel like that's not like removed from that in any way, because it's the same man doing this just months after he's been trying to take away DEI, and he's building an administration that is by and for white people, it seems.
I'm saying again. What do you guys think?
I'm not really surprised. I mean, just about everything that man does is something. And just looking at the people that he chooses to hire and the things they say and the things they do, and there's no repercussions, I'm not surprised.
You don't have anything to say about this?
I'm just kind of, like I said, that's something I haven't kept up with a lot.
Yeah.
I do question it that he hasn't hired that many or nominated that many black people. I do think it's kind of wrong, but it's like on the DEI side of things, I think we've come so far as a society in the last 60 years since the civil rights movement, and the civil rights movement is still going on in America today, and I understand that. But I think we've come so far in society today that even with or without DEI, we're never going back to segregation. I don't think we could see, like here at Southern Miss, we took away a lot of DEI policies. I don't think we're going to go back to Southern Miss being an all-white institution.
Interesting.
I don't think.
Okay, interesting. That's why, and I think a lot of people say the same thing, right? And that's why you have headlines like this: 2% of administrators are black. So are we not going back to segregation?
That's a good question. I think that as you were mentioning, it's when you kind of marry a lot of things together that are happening that you start seeing patterns that are very concerning.
Yeah.
I think that particular headline, for the average person, again, same as last time, don't really care. But when you start combining everything together, you see these patterns that are genuinely concerning and do suggest some regression with regards to civil rights and in relation to DEI. I will say when it comes to something like a university system, there are various incentives to be very careful to eliminate that sort of thing. I think that actually would be very counterproductive for an institution like higher education. And so while it may go away on paper, there's still kind of these cultural norms around DEI that persist. The question is, how long do they persist without any formal mechanisms for it?
Yeah, and I think that's a really good point. And what it feels like, at least on the national level, and I agree, I don't think USM is reverting back to 1953, where Clyde Kennard could not attend here. I don't see that, but I do see a lot of other troubling signs. And so let me throw another perhaps troubling headline at you. So we are now up to about 39 folks who have been killed in strikes by the military of boats out in the Caribbean and in the Pacific, I believe, maybe Atlantic, coming from Venezuela and Colombia, with the administration alleging that they are transporting drugs. So these are folks, they have not been arrested, there's been no trial, there's not even a warrant for their arrest. They are just being blown out of the water and killed by our military. What do we think? Is that reaching our students? Have we...
I've heard about it. I haven't heard like people talking about it on campus though.
I haven't heard students talking about that, but that's a big deal. Mm-hmm. You know, you just watch a boat sailing from Venezuela. Oh wait, yeah, you ain't no good. You gotta go. No, that ain't right, man. You at least, you know, like a commercial fisherman down in the Gulf might be minding his own business. You know, Coast Guard rolls up. Hey man, how many fish you got down there? Well, I got. You know, below the limit. They go down there and there's 1,000 pounds over what he's supposed to have, you know, of legal fish. Is that a reason to blow a guy out of the water?
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, that may be a Colombian fishing boat. You never know.
Well, then in fact, Colombia has said no. Those are at least one of the strikes was on a fisher boat, and the administration is not producing any evidence. They're just saying these were drug smugglers. I'm looking. You haven't heard, that hasn't reached you yet.
This is the first time hearing about it.
Okay.
But yeah, that sounds really messed up and scary.
Curiously, average person doesn't care on this one also, but that's very curious to me that it's not getting as much attention as I think it should. That's really, really problematic to just be firing upon ships.
Well,
very weird.
I think it is, and I think it's starting to resonate because it's happening more and more, and the administration has refused to give evidence on why this boat versus that boat. And you're starting to see some even Republican senators like Rand Paul going, no, that's not who the U.S. is. We don't just routinely assassinate people because we think they did something.
And I think, again, like that's showing another pattern that we're starting to see in this country of, like, criminalizing people that are not American in our eyes. And just they are criminals because we say that they are, or we think that we are. We're seeing our government attacking commercial fishing ships while they're also disappearing American citizens and people that have not committed any crimes besides being here, possibly illegally. And it's all, they're saying that they're criminals. And they're not giving any evidence a lot of the time. They're just acting without impunity.
Well, I will tell you, this is why I love historians, right? Is because that's why we have history, is making these connections. So good job. I love that.
And I'll argue that the Supreme Court decision that the president cannot be held responsible for the decisions that he makes legally has created the framework for this.
Totally, 1,000% agree. When you unleash a character like Donald Trump, this is what you get. This is, so voters, this is the system that you get. Anyway, I'm going to do one more, Liam. I'm going to give you a heads up. So I'm going to do one more. And this one, let's turn a little lighter. Good news. Here we go. Liam, hang on to your chair here.
Hold on, I hear it coming.
Here you go. So this is a headline in Variety. K-pop demon hunters, toys, dolls, games, and more are coming because Netflix has made a deal with Mattel and Hasbro. How are we feeling about that?
I'm so stoked I'm passing it off.
I mean, I enjoyed the movie. It was a kid's movie. The main problem I had was the pacing of the movie. I just think it should have been maybe a series. I don't feel like relationships were fleshed out enough.
Blaspheme. Okay.
I'm sorry.
So, hey, you got to speak the truth, right? Wow.
It really hurts me that you said that's a kid's movie because that movie's amazing. If anybody listening has not seen K-pop Demon Hunters, I don't care if you don't like K-pop. You don't need to.
You don't even have to like Demon Hunters.
Exactly.
But together, it's magic.
The movie's amazing no matter who you are.
I think it's so important to recognize that this has been coming up every single week, and that we did, well, except for last week, yes. And we did manage to get you, Dr. Simpson, to watch it, and you loved it. And I think if we won you over, then we won. I think anyone would love the film. It's fantastic. It's not a kid's movie, though.
Wow, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you're getting beaten up here. That's unfair. But, hey, it's America. We have 3.5 good amendments left. We're going to, here on the show, we're going to say what we think. You did not see K-pop Demon Hunters?
Haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. I've heard the music, and let me just say, I'm glad I'm a country music fan.
Oh my! Wow! This is amazing.
I was genuinely thinking about doing a country version of Golden and decided not to do it.
Lord.
That'll be the recording coming out soon.
All right. Well, all right. Here we go. Well, this has been a production of Southern Miss Student Media. Our producers are Annabelle Laird and Lily Burkhardt. Thank you, fellers. Our video producer is Isabella Michaud, and our engineer is Liam Keenan. Thank you, everyone, for keeping us between the ditches. And we will be back next week.
This has been News You Need with Dr. Ed Simpson. News You Need airs Friday afternoon at 12